we are in the presence of a celebrity right now. This is
We are.
She did the Super Bowl commercial with Bill Murray and Jeep.
That's it right there.
This is it. This is the one that started it all.
You planned that.
No, I didn't, but yeah, that's cool.
Could we be in line for something funny to come out of the mouth?
Just might happen. What a little key.
She's the best.
Everyone deserves to feel their best. Everyone deserves to move their best and not have pain.
I'm a little upset that Ben got like 2 inches taller because he's already tall, dark, and handsome enough.
Culture is something we think about like all the time at Shruki's. You know, we're all coming from different cultures.
Our comments have exploded
through the roof.
So there you go.
Good afternoon, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. This is Lancaster Connects. My name is Ben McClure, and I'm one of the co-hosts of Lancaster Connects. It is Monday, January 13th, 2025. Second show of the year, first being broadcast from this location in this year. Of course, I'm sitting in Gardner's Mattress and More, the business I co-own with my partner in crime, Jeff Janakovo, who unfortunately isn't here. He's been attending to his wife's medical needs. Happy to report she's been in the hospital, but she's now out of the hospital and in a rehab facility and hopefully back home soon. So if you've been following our journey here on Lancaster Connects and keeping Jeff in your thoughts and prayers, happy to report that she is out of the hospital and hopefully making her way back home soon. Miss you, Jeff. Hope you can come back to the show very soon here. It's not the same. The banter is not the same without the cohort in crime here. So anyway, we got a great show for you today. We'll bring on our guest in a little bit. We've got Cory Van Brookhoven from the Lititz Historical Society. You know, Lititz has been voted in the past one of the coolest small towns in America, I think was the title. We're going to learn all about the history of the town of Lititz. So very, very cool to have Cory on the show. We're going to jump into our community rundown. We've got for the last maybe 3-4 months or so, we've been sharing community news that we think is interesting, fun, noteworthy, that our listeners and watchers might want to know about. And we will typically go on the Lancaster Connects Facebook feed, scroll through, find some time-relevant posts to share. So we've got 3 for today. Chris, our wonderful producer at Cast Ahead Productions. If you have any podcasting needs, Chris at Cast Ahead is your guy. He's got it up there on the screen. Number 1, we've got Compass Mark. Compass Mark is their post here. Announcing they're thrilled to have received one of 2 first ever statewide Prevention Impact in Action Awards from the Pennsylvania Department of Drug and Alcohol Programs. So their team members are innovative, educated, and passionate about lowering risk factors for substance abuse and gambling disorders. Obviously a much needed service in today's world. So fantastic work that they're doing. I reached out to them actually this morning to have them on the show. Hopefully we can bring maybe Eric there on the screen from Compass Mark. We can bring him on the show. So it looks like they got some recognition from the local station, television station, ABC 27. So very cool. Check out what they're doing right here in Lancaster County. Obviously, you can go to Compass Mark, find them on Facebook, search them up on Google, find their website, see everything that they're doing. So I thought that was cool that they were recognized for that award from the state. All right. Number 2, a favorite around here for Lancaster Connects. We've had SCORE, the mentor program, the Lancaster Lebanon chapter of SCORE. We've had them on the show a few times with some of their businesses that they've helped, businesses, organizations, small businesses. Of course, SCORE is a mentorship and business educational program. They host events and learning events and classes that people who are interested in starting businesses or are or a nonprofit or charitable organization, SCORE can help that business get off the ground. And then, of course, their mentorship program is really where, really the magic happens. SCORE will assign an organization a free mentor to connect with on a monthly basis to take the business to the next level. And it's really, really cool program. Gardner's actually used the program when Jeff and I purchased the business from the previous owner, Jim Gardner, back in 2011. We actually used SCORE. But their news, they wanted to let everybody know that January is National Mentoring Month. And they say whether you are on a business journey, having an experience guide, whether you are in your business journey, having an experience guide can make all the difference. A mentor offers more than just advice. They provide perspective gained from years of real world experience. And looks like they've got an opportunity there to request a mentor right there on the screen. So again, search them up on Facebook, SCORE, SCORE Mentors Lancaster, Lebanon. And if you're a business or an organization that wants to get started with a mentor, perfect opportunity during National Mentor Month. All right. And the last one is probably my favorite announcement of the day, just because it's ice cream. It's one of my favorite foods. Not taking away from the other charitable work that the other organizations do, but ice cream is one of the tops on my list. So anyway, Splits and Giggles. Again, probably somebody we should have on the show. Their favorite time of the year is right around the corner. And you guessed it, it's the ice cream for breakfast day, which I think is February 1st. So they said, join us for one day out of the year where we can serve unique handcrafted ice cream sundaes for breakfast. Our decade of ice cream sundaes will be served on waffles made by the best local bakery in town, Tom's Bread. By the way, fantastic bread and baked options there from Tom's Bread. They even have a vegan version, so they have homemade vegan waffles. A couple ways to participate. You can order in advance at splitsandgiggles.com. Deliveries will be made on Friday the 31st on the evening before the National Ice Cream for Breakfast Day. Or you can order in person on the day of. Looks like their takeout window opens at 7 a.m. and probably open much of the morning at least. So anyway, limited ice cream menu, coffee, espresso bar, hot chocolate. They have a heated patio, again, for ice cream for breakfast day. I've never done ice cream for breakfast, but it sounds like something that I definitely need to do this year. So check out all of our community event or community rundown organizations there, Compass Mark, SCORE, and Splits and Giggles Cafe. All right. Let's get our guest on here. We've got Cory Van Brookhoven from the Lititz Historical Foundation. Cory, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm still thinking about that ice cream for breakfast day, by the way.
I know. We should just put it up there in the corner of the screen and just,
right.
Episode, right?
That's right. Yep.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I mean, anytime I don't know about you, but and I know we're here to talk about Lititz Historical Society, but since we brought up ice cream, I don't know about you, but for me, a vanilla ice cream and that picture showed peanut butter sauce and Reese's Pieces. That's by far my favorite. Do you have a favorite ice cream?
Yeah, I'm in chocolate chip. I know everyone says that, but it's probably my favorite.
Yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong with mint chocolate chip. Well, there we go. All right. So you're here representing the Lititz Historical Foundation, and I know it exists, but I don't know much about it. So can you share with us a little bit about the history of the Lititz Historical Foundation and its mission?
Sure. So we were founded in 1961. And our mission is to preserve Lititz history. As you know, Lititz is very much a historic town. We get a lot of tourists around the year, and people from all over the world come to Lititz. And we offer all different things like events, live concerts. We have an event space. We have 2 historic buildings. And our mission, again, is just to preserve history and spread the love of the town of Lititz.
So how long have you been with the organization?
I started on the board in 2008.
Okay, wow. And what prompted you to become a Lititz historian?
When people ask me this, I have to answer truthfully. It's actually in my blood. My grandfather
Oh,
carried mail in Lititz downtown for many years after he got out of the war, World War II. And people knew that he collected Lititz pictures and other memorabilia, so they would give him things. And then eventually, my mom caught the bug, and now I caught the bug about 25 years, 30 years ago or so. So it literally is in my blood.
wow. So, like most of what you've learned through the generations?
Oh, absolutely. A big part of it for sure. I mean, I do a lot of research on my own, and I like to think that I'm constantly learning. Like the
Yeah,
saying goes, you try to learn something, at least one new thing every day before you go to bed. So I'm still learning. I don't really even call myself. I don't like the term historian because it makes me
right.
look like I'm 100. It's 100. That I'm 100 years old. Lifelong learner, maybe, or
Yeah,
so.
that's awesome. Uh, I noticed you have a quilt behind you with a building on it. Is that the Lititz Historical Foundation building?
It is. It's actually a lot smaller than it looks. No, I'm just kidding. That's the Mueller house. And yeah, that's a
Mm,
quilt that was made for us by somebody that was on our staff who's no longer with us. So
mm,
that's the Mueller house. People can take tours, guided tours of that with a tour guide. And because it's indoors, it's heated and it's air conditioned in the summer. So we actually offer tours of that house year round. Now, that said, this is a slow time of year for us because it being cold and winter.
sure.
I would say our busiest time of year is May through the end of October.
Okay. So what's the significance of that? There's a picture of it there, I believe.
Mhm.
Look, all
Yep.
decked out in snow and ice.
Yeah. So
Probably
that's
not a picture from this past year.
no, this is a couple years ago, taken at night,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah, yeah.
The as far as the significance is concerned, I mean, it is a typical house where a Moravian lived, and as
Okay.
you probably know, the Moravian Church is based in Lititz, and the Moravians actually founded the town in 1756. And
Okay.
we had the opportunity to purchase that building in the early 1960s, and at that time it was a private home. And we put a call out. I
Okay.
mean, this is long before I was even born. But when I say we, I mean the foundation put a call
Yeah.
out to the community saying, "Hey, we'd like to set this house up and make it look like a typical Moravian house would look like in 1792." So we put a call out to the community, and people searched their closets and attics, and we were able to furnish that house, both floors, with period artifacts. So when you step inside, when you take a tour, it's really like no
Ah,
other house. Yeah, it's like no other house inside Lititz. Again, it's converted to more or less again what a typical Moravian home would look like. Yep, there's some pictures. The inside, that's the kitchen, that's the upstairs, that's the apprentice room, and that's the parents' bedroom there, and
yeah.
on and on. Yep, that's the outside, obviously.
Well, that's really cool. Are there any artifacts or items in the home of historical significance or that are worthy of a conversation on the show here?
I mean, yeah, there's an old math book that's handmade from the 1700s that has
Oh,
all
that's
kinds
cool.
of drawings and diagrams and great examples of fraktur, like drawings of tulips, birds. You got to remember the Moravians were Germans. So when they came here, they brought with them Pennsylvania Dutch culture, the Pennsylvania German heritage for sure. They spoke German. And you'll see that in a lot of things hanging on the wall. You'll see that on the furniture inside. It's everywhere. This
Any
is an early. Yep.
go ahead, go ahead.
I was going to say this is an early picture from the early 1900s. There was a lady that lived there at the time with their two sons. At the time, you could
Wow.
see kind of the window on the right. It was a millinery or a hat shop in that side of the building.
Oh, that's
It's
pretty
also
cool.
worth note. Yeah, it's also worth noting too that the wooden portion that you see here, the wooden portion of the Mueller house, actually dates back to 1740, and it's the oldest standing home in Lititz. So Johannes Mueller comes along in 1792 and adds the stone portion. So you're looking at
Okay.
kind of a house within a, yeah, you're looking at a house within a house. Inside the wooden structure there, you can still see remnants of the log walls.
The original log walls.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And where is this house located in Lititz?
That's located at, we have two buildings right next to each other. And we're actually, even though we don't have direct affiliation with the Moravian Church, we're on Main Street right across from the Moravian
Okay.
Church.
Yep.
And our two buildings are located at 137-145 East Main Street.
Is that pretty close to Whiff Roasters? Or maybe they're the next block down?
Yes. Well, no, Whiff Roasters is opening a new location
Yeah.
about six doors down from us to
Okay.
to the east, and they're located right next to Sturgis Pretzel House.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so yeah, we're about 6 doors down from Whiff when they open, which I believe is going to be soon.
Yeah. Well, in fact, we get Whiff. We've had Whiff on the show before. We give all of our customers here at Gardner's Whiff Roasters coffee when they make a mattress purchase. So they get a little baggie of goodies, and we include some Whiff Roasters portion packs in there. And I've been in there, even in their new facility, often to pick up our orders. I think the cafe portion isn't open quite yet, but Keith assured me it's coming soon. So that gives us a frame of reference, and a few doors down from the Julius Sturgis pretzel building. Yeah, which that's pretty cool.
That's right.
I've done a tour there, and that's pretty neat. So the Mueller house, you can go in and walk around. Can you get a tour? Is that how that works, or is it like self-guided?
Yeah, no, you're with a tour guide. It's about a 45-minute guided tour, and they show you all around the house, upstairs and downstairs. It's about 7 rooms. They talk about the history of Lititz, of course, talk about the Moravian Church, talk all about the family that lived there. So when you give a tour, the time goes by pretty quick. I mean, obviously, you don't have time to talk about every single artifact in the house, but we try to kind of hit on the basics.
And are you a tour guide, or is it other people that do the tours? Or
well, we have about 9 or 10 tour guides that we pay.
Cool.
So obviously they get first crack at it. This time of year, when it's slower, I might jump in to give a tour, or when it's really, really busy, I might jump in to help. But I try to give as little tours as possible, only because that's the job of the tour guides.
Yeah. You have plenty of other responsibilities, I'm sure. So,
yes.
And right now, what are the hours for the 4 tours during the winter? And then maybe you could talk about what it would be in the summer as well.
Yeah, so the hours are the same. I'm here.
Oh, okay.
We're open basically 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, Saturdays,
Okay.
11 to 5. And beginning March, we're going to be open on Sundays, 11 to 4. And when that happens, we're going to be the only historical society in Lancaster County open 7 days a week, which is exciting for us. And as far as tours are concerned, this time of year, you do have to book in advance to make sure I'm not out to lunch or have a meeting, or that I can arrange to get a tour guide come. But starting usually around mid-March, mid to late March, depending on the weather, we'll have Mueller House tour guides here just waiting, and they'll give several tours a day. So beginning on that date, you don't have to pre-book. You could just walk in and we'll put you on the next tour. Yep.
That's cool. So you can book in advance, or you can walk right up and hopefully get a tour pretty quickly. That's cool.
Yeah, and that's just one of the many tours we offer. We offer a walking tour of Main Street, a ghost tour of Main Street. We do a whiskey and history tour. We do a departed spirits tour in collaboration with the Lititz Moravian Church. So we'll always say book in advance, because a lot of these tours sell out, especially a ghost tour, which, as you can imagine, is very popular for us.
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up, because that's kind of the next thing on the list here. So the tours, I know I've done some walking tours when I've visited towns like London, for example. I know that famous for walking tours. So you kind of do something similar here with some of Lititz history. You, I think, mentioned just 3 or 4 different tours that you have available, and the ghost tours being popular. So what's the ghost tour all about in Lititz?
So our ghost tour, I mean, it does have, creepy and eerie tales, but it's not gory by any
Sure.
means. So it's family friendly, and it's about a 45-minute tour. We offer them several times during the day, a few at night as well, with a lantern guide.
Okay.
And they just talk
Oh,
about
that's cool.
obviously the history of the history of the town, and talk about the creepy tales. It's an easy walk from basically one end of Main Street to another.
Okay, so it starts at the Mueller building?
No, it actually starts at the square in Lititz, and
Oh, okay.
it actually ends near the Mueller house.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's cool. And did you say there's 2 different types of ghost tours, or is it just one?
We do I'll call it the daily ghost tour. That's of Main Street. That's what you're seeing there.
Yeah.
That's one of the pictures. But we
Yep.
also do a yearly tour in conjunction with our the Moravian Church, which is a departed spirits tour. And there we
Okay.
focus on several buildings on the campus of the Moravian Church. Sometimes we'll go out into the cemetery and talk about folks that live there and lived here and are buried there. So yeah, the pictures that you see now are of the ghost tour. And as you can see, there's some nighttime pictures, some daytime pictures.
And those are the tour guides that are obviously dressed up.
Yes. Yep.
In the period.
Our tour
piece
guides
garb?
our tour guides are dressed as late 18th century Moravians. So as you saw, we have male and female tour guides. So they dress differently. They don't all dress the same.
Yep. That's really cool. So besides the ghost tour, you mentioned there were a couple of other tours that you offer. What are they?
Yeah, there's a walking tour of Main Street, which is more
Okay.
architecture based. And we also, this is the 3rd year we've done in collaboration with a local distillery here in Lititz. We do a whiskey and history tour, and that's a 2-hour tour. So folks they basically get our walking tour, which is there. And then that's for about an hour. And then the next hour they go to the local distillery and they learn all about local distilling, and they get samples of different whiskeys.
That sounds like it might be a fun show.
You know what? Those are very popular. Very, very popular. We get a lot of locals for those too. We get locals on our regular tours too, but it seems like if I were to pick which tour has the most locals on it, it's the whiskey tour. Yep.
That's cool. Yeah, maybe we'll have to have you back at some point, bring the whiskey expert on and do a show.
Yeah.
We can do a little whiskey testing here on the show, and
you
that'll
go.
be our connection cocktail, right?
That's right.
Awesome.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
That's cool. So I think you mentioned the other walking tour, you're looking more at like the architecture and talking about the architecture.
Mm-hmm.
What's the significance of architecture in Lititz? Like what can you see?
So, you can see buildings from the 1700s, from the 1800s, all different kinds of examples of architecture. This is the Mary Dixon Chapel we're looking at now. This was built in 1883 and completed in 1885, Gothic style, as they say. It's a gorgeous building. A lot of people come and take pictures. The cupolas alone just are so beautiful. So that's, as you can imagine, that is one of the locations on the tour.
Yeah. That's really cool. Any, do you have a favorite spot to point out during the architecture tour?
There's so many. Certainly the Mary Dixon Chapel's up there.
Yeah.
The Mueller House is up there. The Pilger House. There's several old hotels up there on the tour that I like. It's really hard to pick a favorite.
So what other events do you host? I know the Lititz Historical Foundation is involved in numerous events throughout the year. What are some of the events that you host?
So on top of having 2 historic buildings, we also have an event venue behind our property, which is a gardens.
Okay.
And don't think of it as someone's vegetable garden. This is almost an acre of land with 2 different tiers of space. We have a garden pond back there with fish. And We have weddings back there. We had a dozen weddings last year. We have outdoor summer concert series 4 times a year. We have a plant exchange in the spring, which brings about 100 people. That's a free event for the community. People go back there all the time to take engagement pictures, to take prom pictures. Yeah, this is an example. This is actually a concert that we just had, a concert series of pictures. That band there is No Reply. They played in July. And we usually get for these outdoor we get them sponsored. As you can see by the size of the crowd, we usually get between a wide range of people, anywhere from like 250 people to about 500 people show up. One year we had 800 people back there. So they were just lined up along the street. We had a Beatles cover band that year. So, but usually it averages, usually it averages anywhere from 250 to 400 people. So
that's awesome.
As you can see, the back of our Mueller house, which you just saw, kind of doubles as a stage where the bands play, and everyone has a great time.
So that's
and these are free. Yeah, these are free. These are sponsored. So they're completely free for the community. Some people bring a picnic dinner, and people great time. The ice cream you see there. Speaking of ice cream, again, this is our.
It always comes back to ice cream.
I know. That's right. That's right. We have an ice cream social every year, cool. That is always the Sunday before Labor Day. And so, on top of free music, we also hand out free ice cream. And
that's cool. And I see that's Greco's, I believe.
Yeah, Greco's.
Greco's. Yeah. Yep. I've been there many times, and they're a favorite as well.
Yeah. So you can see the size of the crowds we get there for the concerts, which is so much fun. They really are. I just finished booking all 4 bands for this summer, so that's behind me now. So I'm already looking forward to. We try to have different kinds of music. This coming summer, we have 4 brand new bands that's never played our gardens before. I try to have something for everyone. Yeah, I try to have something for everyone. If somebody really enjoys a band, they always approach me after the show and say, "Oh, bring them back next year." And as much as I'd like to, I try to mix it up. There's so many great there's so many great live bands here in Central PA. So I have brought back some here and there, but I try to bring a nice variety. Again, something for everyone.
Yeah. And you probably said it, I may have missed it. When are these concerts? Are they a particular day of the week?
Yeah, so they're June, July, August, and September. However, this year, because of where Labor Day Sunday falls, we're actually going to have 2 in August.
Okay. And are they like Saturday, Sunday, or is it a day during the week?
Yeah, they're Sunday evenings from 6:30 to about 8. Yep.
That's cool. That's awesome. I love that. Another thing you mentioned you do in the backyard, right? The 1 acre of land behind the building, the plant swap. And my wife actually, I mentioned who was going to be on the show today, and Lititz Historical Foundation and Cory, and she's like, "Oh, I think they're the place that does a plant swap." And she got super excited.
That's right.
And I'm like, I'm going to ask him. So let's talk about the plant swap. What's that?
That's a popular event, and that's usually our first outdoor event of the season. And we get a great crowd. Usually around 100 people show up from all around the area, and they bring plants, whether they be bulbs or shade or herbs, whatever they want to bring. Everything has to be potted, and then it's basically bring a plant, take home a plant. Tickets are distributed. So if you bring 5 plants, you get to take home 5 new plants. So it's a fun.
It's
just there. You go.
Such a cool idea.
Coming up. Yeah. We've been doing it for years, and again, there's no admission this year, as you can see on the screen. It's April 27th at 1:30. That's when the exchange starts, and that's important to note because if you get there at 1:30, you're too late. So people start showing up around 1 o'clock, getting their plants, in line, taking a look at the plants that are available. And then we say, okay, go. And at 1:30, people grab their plants. And then by 1:35, everyone's in their car driving home. So,
oh my, hopefully there's no elbows being thrown, competing to get the,
no, it's never gotten quite that bad, but there has been people that have been a little aggressive, not physically, just running to get to a certain plant. Yeah, there's a picture from this was probably a year or two ago of the plant
Yeah.
exchange, and it's a fun event, and we do that in conjunction with the Lititz Garden Club. So members of that
Okay,
club,
cool.
members of that club are on hand. They offer gardening tips, and hey, I just got this new plant. What do I do? And they'll talk about the plant that you received and tell you how to take care of it.
That's cool. Are there, kind of rules for the type of plant to bring? Do they have to be like plants native to the area, or can it be just really anything that you have
Yeah,
in a pot?
they have to be perennials, and everything has to be potted unless they're seeds, of course. But
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't. There's really no hard and fast rules. There's 6 categories. Like I said, it could be shade, it could be herbs, it could be ground cover. Just bring your plants and then you can see like there's a category, and
Okay.
put your plant, the ones that you're bringing, in that category, and then also gives you time to kind of look over the other plants that other folks brought.
That's cool. Well, my wife will definitely be there.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
It's funny, like I'll come home, and like I'll go into the garage and there's like a whole bunch of plants on my workbench in the garage. And
Yeah.
yep, she's been to a plant swap or found some plants on Marketplace or something. So,
Mhm.
late April, we'll pay attention to the plant swap at the Lititz Historical Foundation. That's cool. You said also that space can be maybe rented for weddings and other events.
Yeah, we had 12 weddings back there
Wow.
this past season in 2024.
That's cool.
Our last wedding was actually November 8th, if you can imagine
Oh,
that. So
yeah.
they're basically start up around May, June, and then we have some in October. Usually not in November, although like I said, we did have one last year. But it's a great versatile space. I mean, we've had engagement parties there. We've had gender reveals there. We've had baby
cool.
showers there, and of course, weddings, the main thing we have there on
Yep.
top of our concerts. But people rent it for retirement parties. We try to keep the price very, very affordable. That way, it's
Yeah.
available for basically
Yeah.
anyone who wants to utilize the space.
That's really cool. It's a beautiful backdrop. It really
Thank you.
is. It's so cool.
Thank you.
The old
Yep.
building, historical
Uh-huh.
building, and the gardens.
Yeah, and
That's
sometimes
cool.
people just walk by there. I mean, assuming there isn't an event going on, people are free to enjoy the gardens anytime from
Okay.
dawn till dusk. People bring bag lunches back there. Couples go back there and sit by the pond. We've had at least 2 or 3 pop-up surprise proposals there, where one
Okay.
year a guy was walking there with his girlfriend, fiance to be, and he pulled a acoustic guitar out of the bushes and serenaded her, and then got down on one knee. So that was pretty neat. Yeah. You never know what's going to
That's
happen
cool.
back there. Yeah.
That's cool. I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to ask, and it slipped out of my head if you can just walk through the gardens. So
Yes.
That's cool.
Absolutely. The gardens are available for everyone's enjoyment. Like I said, as long as there isn't an event going on back there, anyone can go back there and take a respite. I mean, a lot of people, our buildings are right off of Main Street. And when you go back in that garden, people say, wow, I can't believe I'm still in downtown Lititz. It's so beautiful back here.
Okay,
Not saying that Lititz isn't beautiful, but just, you're
Right.
in a whole different space.
Yeah, I mean that's beautiful. That picture that was just up there on the screen, you can see the pond in the
Yep.
background. You've got the 2 trees in the background framing the picture. That's really, really cool. So if somebody wanted to rent the space or view the concert calendar and check out all the events, is the website that's on the screen there the best place to do that? It's Historical Foundation.
Yeah, they could go there and send us an email if they're interested in booking the gardens, or they could go on our website there and click through events and see all our events throughout the year. We're also very active on social media. We have a pretty big following on Facebook, so they can also check our events there on the events tab on our Facebook page, or there, like on your screen now. You go to events and then go to again, and that'll bring up all the events. Not throughout the year, because I don't populate them all at the same time.
Sure.
Yeah. So for example, here on our Facebook page, you go to events, you'll come up with, if you go to events there, you'll see all the events that we have like we have some lectures coming up at the Lititz Library. We have the whiskey tours there. The annual plant exchange is on there. And we'll be populating that here in the next couple of months with events coming up in late spring and fall and summer, of course.
That's great. Looks like you've got some really neat talks coming up at the Lititz Public Library. And yeah, I see the other events that we've talked about there on the Facebook page. That's cool.
Yeah, we do 4 of those lectures a year at the library too. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I don't know if you saw it. We had a couple of comments during the show. Rich commented and said he loves this.
Oh,
so
nice.
A couple of fans here, and
Okay.
Joe said Cory is the heart of Lititz. So,
oh my, okay.
So you got a couple of
that's very
fans.
cool. Thanks,
couple of
guys.
fans at least watching live there. So obviously, you're the Lititz Historical Foundation is a nonprofit organization, and I'm sure the community support is very helpful for what you do there and the events that you put on. What type of support can the community of Lititz and Lancaster help the Historical Foundation with?
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. We are actually, it being January, we're in the middle of our 2025 membership drive. So if they want to support us, they can go on our website, fill out a membership application, send us a check, and you get all different great benefits for becoming a member. There's different tiers of membership. There's individual, there's student, there's family, there's a lifetime. But at any level, you get limited free tours of the Mueller House that we talked about. You get a 10% discount in our gift shop. You're also the first to receive our newsletter. And all those are great, but honestly, the thing that's most important is you're helping us monetarily continue with our mission.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's one way to support. How about volunteers? Do you need volunteers to run your events?
Yeah, we have an army of volunteers now that help out with events and help out at our desk. Our desk, as people walk in, they're the first people they see. And we're finding that a lot of visitors that come to Lititz, we're the first stop. I mean, oftentimes when we're traveling, you want to go to a town, you kind of want to start with, how did the town start out? Why were they founded? So you'll find yourself in a local historical society. So to answer your question, yeah, we could always use more volunteers. We are kind of in the rare time now that there isn't a whole lot going on. So this time of year, I don't need a whole lot of volunteers, but folks can definitely reach out to us. And I can certainly always use extra hands come summer and fall.
That's awesome. So, what challenges does the Lititz Historical Foundation face? There's challenges with every organization, and putting forth your mission. What are some challenges that you could share that maybe the community can help with?
I think this has gotten better over the years, but we get a lot of people come into our museum, and keep in mind we've been here since the early 1960s, and people will say, "I lived here my whole life and I've never come in here," or "I've lived here my whole life and I didn't even know you existed." And other places sort of have that same issue. I think people would. I wish people would be more tourists in their backyard. As the saying goes, people tend to bring their family or friends to Lititz from out of town, and just visibility. I mean, we're very popular, like I said, with tourists and some locals, but I think generally we could do a better job of being visible in the community. And one of my jobs is just that: community engagement, getting out there, doing podcasts like this. I write books, so I go out and I do speaking engagements, I do book signings, and I go on behalf of the Lititz Historical Foundation. And when I go out there and when I leave this building, I bring with me brochures, membership forms, and just kind of to increase the awareness of our mission.
That's awesome. I'm glad you brought it up, because I did see that as preparation for the show that you've written. What did you say? 7 books, 8 books?
I wish, not quite yet. I just finished my 4th book, came out in last May. So.
Okay. Maybe you didn't say a number. Maybe that's what my brain
heard.
That's
That's
so.
okay.
What are those books? Are they about the history of Lititz?
Yeah, they all have to do with local history. They don't all have to do with Lititz. The first two
Okay.
books were on a guy named Jack Fasig, who was a local strongman. Actually, he spent most of his time around Mannheim and Lancaster. So
Okay.
those were the first two books. Third book came out in 2011. It was on Warwick Township, which, if you think of Lititz, a lot of people think of the downtown, which is the borough. Well, Warwick Township is anything outside of the borough, the smaller towns, the farmland that still, exist as a Lititz address. So that was my third book. And my fourth book, the one that I just mentioned that came out in May, was it's called Mysterious Lititz, Ghosts, True Crime, UFOs, and More. And there it is.
That's
And
cool.
just as the cover suggests, it's local ghost stories, true crime tales, UFO sightings, and more. So creepy tales. Again, nothing too gory, but a lot of the same tales that you'll find on our ghost tour. There's a lot of tales in the book that you won't find on any of our tours. The book, thankfully, has done really well for me so far.
Yeah,
It's
that's
kind
cool.
of it's kind of had two lives. When it first came out in May, obviously a lot of copies sold, and I had some book
Yep.
signings, which I'm very fortunate. And then it
That's
sort of
cool.
had a second life in October with Halloween. So yeah,
That makes a ton of sense.
yeah, yep.
So two questions related to that book specifically. One, where can you get it?
Okay. So you can get it on Amazon.com. You can have Amazon ship it right to your house.
Okay.
And if you want an autographed copy, you could go to Aaron's Books in Lititz.
Okay.
The Lititz Welcome Center sells autographed copies. And we also sell copies here at the Historical Foundation's gift shop. And if I'm here, I will happily sign it for free.
Well, that's awesome. Well, we're going to forget that you said the A word. We want everybody to go to Aaron's Books
Yes.
and the Lititz Historical
Absolutely.
Foundation, get a signed copy. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So, and then question number two, do you have a favorite story from that book?
I mean, there's so many stories. Oh, geez. There's a lot of tales on Main Street of buried graves and ghost sightings around Main Street. There was a really famous ghost story having to do with the Mueller house that's in the book. So yeah, there's a lot. It's so hard to choose.
That's cool. Well, we'll just have to read the book. That's what we'll just have to do there. Cory, I'm not sure where your video feed went. Maybe Chris just messaged. Maybe your camera got turned off. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm sure people don't just want to see me. They want to. They tuned in to see you too. So while you're maybe figuring out that, there we go.
Hey,
there we go.
That's weird. I didn't do anything. I swear. And it wasn't a ghost. Okay, it was not a ghost.
That's what happened. That's a tale for book number 2.
There you go. That's right.
The ghost there in the building. So as we wrap up our time talking about the Lititz Historical Foundation,
Sure.
What kind of hopes or plans do you have for the future? Of course, we've got, maybe you could talk about something that's coming up in 2025, maybe that's new that you're doing, or just the future of the foundation itself. What are your hopes and plans for the future there?
One of my many hats that I wear here is, again, community engagement and growing the tours and growing the membership. And we also receive a lot of grants for every year, which I'm very thankful for. So just growing the foundation, whether it be, again, monetarily, we have an archives here with thousands of artifacts. We get all kinds of donations throughout the year. That's always great to see that grow from folks that think of us when they're making a donation. And you had said, maybe something else coming down the line. There might be, I can't commit to it yet, but there's a good chance that I might have another book come out this year. We shall see.
That's cool.
So
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations and good luck with getting that book out.
Thank you.
Yeah. So anything else that you'd like to share about the Lititz Historical Foundation?
I don't think so. I mean, just know that you don't necessarily have to book a tour to visit us.
Yeah.
We have
Yep.
a donation-based museum and gift shop. If you just want to come, you don't have to pay admission to walk through our museum and see all the artifacts. And like I said, we do have a nice gift shop. Once the weather becomes nicer, people are more than welcome to visit our gardens and bring a picnic lunch and relax back there, take pictures. And, so yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, everybody watching should definitely do a tour and see the gardens and the plant swap. I know my wife personally, she's looking forward to that. Anybody planning an event, a wedding that needs a space, a beautiful space, Lititz Historical Foundation would be a great place for that. And, if you're not able to stop by, people watching and listening, if you're not able to stop by, or maybe you're out of town or whatever, and you see the stuff that Cory and the Lititz Historical Foundation is posting on Facebook, share it, and like Cory said,
Thank you.
Sometimes people just don't know. They've maybe lived in town or lived in Lancaster their whole lives, and they didn't know Lititz had a historical foundation, or they didn't know about the Mueller building, and the period artifacts that are in there that are really, really cool to see, or the gardens. So if you're seeing stuff on Facebook that the Lititz Historical Foundation is putting out there, share it, like it. The more love that posts get, the more people are aware. So that's really key for any organization. Well, Cory, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being on the show and talking about the Lititz Historical Foundation. I live in, my address is Lititz, but I live in like the southern part of Lititz that really isn't Lititz. It's Manor Township, but Lititz address. But we're Lititz all the time.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely, we spend some time in Lititz over the summer. I'll definitely be stopping by. Do you have a few more minutes for a few questions to get to know you a little bit better?
Absolutely.
All right.
Sure.
Well, we already did the ice cream commercial, or the question. We got that out of the way. Mint chocolate chip for you. That's a good one. So obviously now you're the president of the Lititz Historical Foundation, but I want to know, what was Cory's first job?
So my first job, I got 2 months after my 15th birthday. I worked at McDonald's all through high school.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Is that the one that's on 501 there?
So that is the Lititz McDonald's, but it was the location that I worked at was at 800 Lititz Pike, which was up further
Okay. Cool. We share something in common. I worked at McDonald's when I was 16.
Awesome. Yeah.
But not around here, but in another community. But good work environment to learn.
Absolutely.
As a teenager, right?
It honestly taught me a lot about hard work and, getting your first paycheck, teamwork, being on time, and just all the life lessons that honestly you carry with you into adulthood.
Yep. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. So I don't want you to have to make this decision, but I'm going to ask you what your favorite restaurant in Lititz might be. Restaurant or eating establishment or ice cream shop, whatever.
Right. So we get this question every day from visitors and tourists because once they're here in Lititz, they want to know where to eat. Where can I get a cup of coffee? What else is there to do? So I like to spread the love. So here's my list. If you want pizza, it's Roma Pizza. If you want subs, it's Nino's. If you want a good burger, Appalachian Brewing Company. If you want a good steak, go to Blackworth. If you want ice cream, go to Greco's or Isabella's. If you want good tacos, there's a really good place on North Broad Street. And it's really good. It's just called Chilongo's. So I think I just covered all bases.
Yes.
Chilongo's. Yep. Craft beer. There's some good craft. Yep. Go ahead.
You are a wonderful community diplomat.
I know. And there's great places to get craft beer. So it's just, as you know, and I'm not just saying this, Lititz we're fortunate. We have a great variety of restaurants from anything from quick service to, like I said, steaks to, there's a really great Italian restaurant that just opened on Main Street that I can't wait to try. Yeah, Becca Fico. So I'm anxious to try that, and cafes, coffee, bagels. Whole nine
Yeah.
yards.
Well, you are really fortunate where you are. I'm assuming your office is in the Mueller building.
Yes, I'm upstairs in the other
Yep.
building in the museum, and
Okay.
it was fun. It was funny. This is my third year that I've been here full time, and I've been with the foundation for longer, but they hired me
Yep.
full time beginning of 2023. Anyway, I remember how excited I was that, oh my gosh, I work right on Main Street and I can go out to lunch at a different place every day.
Every day.
And I did. And I did that for a while, and it wasn't the best on my wallet or my waist, but I had fun while it lasted. So now it's maybe about once a week or so.
Well, but now everybody in town knows you
Yeah.
and knows what you're doing at the Lititz Historical Foundation. Yeah,
Mhm.
I was thinking the same thing. Like you walk out of your building, and I think turn right, and you have every option in the world available to
Right,
you
right,
on Main
right.
Street. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, thank you for the diplomatic response on your favorites
Sure.
there. And then my last question, and this can be self-serving if you wish to make it. Do you have a favorite Lititz event that you like to attend each year?
Yeah. So as you know, and I will give you a specific answer here. As you know,
Yep.
Lititz is known for many things, and
Yep.
that also includes our first class events. And
Yeah.
I would say probably the one that means most to me is our 4th of July celebration.
Yep.
As many of your viewers know, that's a big deal. For years and years and years, we thought we had America's oldest 4th of July celebration, and then a thing called the internet came along, and there's actually a there's actually a town that has proved that their 4th of July celebration is, in fact, the
Older.
oldest. So now we say we're one of the oldest
One of the
continuously
oldest.
4th of July celebrations in the nation. And hey, that's fine, but it's a great day. It's a big deal. We have a parade, and there's all kinds of great things happening in the Lititz Springs Park that day.
Yep.
And of course, it's an all big fundraiser for the Lititz Park. And
Yep.
of course, I can't mention 4th of July without mentioning the amazing fireworks show that they put on
Yeah.
every year.
Yeah. Top
Yeah.
notch for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, that's really cool. Thanks for sharing. Yeah,
Sure.
there's all kinds of great events going on at Lititz Springs Park. It's a beautiful park. I know my kids, when they were young, loved going there and feeding the ducks and the birds that are
Yeah.
there. And yeah, they host a ton of cool events there. And the amphitheater back there in the back of the park, I know has
Yep.
a lot of fun events as well. So, well, Cory, like I said, this has been a lot of fun. It's been great getting to know you a little bit better. It's been great getting to know the Lititz Historical Foundation. Maybe we can have you back on the show again.
Sure.
Maybe we can bring
I'd
the
love
whiskey expert on. That might be a fun show.
Sure. Yeah.
But anyway, thanks for taking time out of your afternoon to share with the Lancaster community about what's going on up there in Lititz.
It was my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Have a great afternoon.
You too. Thank you.
Yep. All right. That's so cool. I mean, I knew there was a Lititz Historical Foundation, but I didn't know all that they do there on site. I didn't know about the gardens, of course, until my wife said something this morning about the plant swap. She got all excited. So it's just really cool to see that something like that exists right there in the small community of Lititz. And, there's all kinds of great businesses and organizations in Lititz. Some of whom we've had on the show in the past. Others we probably will be reaching out to get them on. But really, really cool community up there. And I'm glad the Historical Foundation exists to preserve the history of Lititz. So, all right. We're up against it. We're running out of time here. Again, Lancaster Connects is brought to you by Gardener's Mattress and More. As long as I don't knock over the sign, we're good. That's the business we sit within here. Obviously, we're a mattress retailer, and we help the Lancaster community wake up happy every morning. That's our mission here at Gardener's Mattress and More. Really, we're here to change the way you feel about mattress stores. Going to give a shout out to a customer here. We had a customer give us a nice review over the Christmas holiday break recently. This person, they said they visited Gardner's on the 21st and was an extremely positive shopping experience. The store is nicely laid out and contains nearly the wide range of medium to high priced mattresses. We have a little bit of everything from high to low and everything in between. Mattresses for guest bedrooms and master bedrooms. And again, we're here to meet all those sleep needs. Anyway, but while our purchase could have been daunting, it was anything but that, because our sales consultant, Phil, has obviously mastered the ability to size up customers' needs via their responses to a wide variety of questions he poses and his responses to their hopefully perceptive questions. So within 45 minutes of entering the store, we were ready to consider the cost of our purchase. We were pleasantly surprised that our cost was going to be in the median price range, and we readily agreed to make the purchase. Thank you to this person here. Unfortunately, I took a screenshot and cut the person's name off. Anyway, it's on Google. You can check it out if you Google Gardner's Mattress some more. Click on the reviews. It's right there. Tons of great reviews on there. We're very thankful for our wonderful customers who support our business, which allows us to support the Lancaster community by hosting Lancaster Connects and highlighting great people from great organizations doing awesome things in Lancaster County, like Cory Van Brookhoven from the Lititz Historical Foundation. I think that's about it for today's show. Next week, we're back. Got a great guest on next week. In fact, it's a local sports team. If you're familiar with the Lancaster Inferno, it's a women's soccer team right here in Lancaster. It's going to be super cool. I'm pumped up for it. They're going to be on next week on the 20th. And then we're booking great guests in February and March. Again, small businesses like Gardner's Mattress and more. If you have a small business that gives back to the community in some way, shape, or form, we love to tell those stories. If you're a community support organization, nonprofit, charitable organization like the Lititz Historical Foundation or similar, we'd love to tell your story on Lancaster Connects. Go to lancasterconnects.com/guest, and you can fill out a simple form and tell us why you'll be a good fit for the show, and we'll get you on as soon as we can. Like I said, we're booking into February and March. Got some great guests lined up already here for 2025, and there's plenty of opportunity. We've got 52 weeks here in the, well, I guess we're already two or three Mondays in, so maybe 49 more shows to go. But anyway, love to have you on if you've got a great story to tell from your organization or business here in Lancaster. I think that's it. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next connection.